Good afternoon and welcome again to On Air. I'm Kirsty Fierick.
And I'm Agatha Torre. And today, another general election in 6 weeks' time. Theresa May's snap announcement sends shockwaves across the country, as our reporter Anas Hassan has been finding out.
Here we go again. The United Kingdom is going to the polling booths once again.
I have just chaired a meeting of the Cabinet where we agreed that the government should call a general election to be held on the 8th of June.
In response to Prime Minister Theresa May's statement this morning, Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn said, "I welcome the Prime Minister's decision to give the British people the chance to vote for a government that will put the interests of the majority first." The leader of the Scottish National Party, Nicola Sturgeon, said, "This announcement is one of the most extraordinary U-turns in recent political history, and it shows that Theresa May is once again putting the interests of her party ahead of those of the country." It's nearly 2 years since the last UK election. Without doubt, the future of Scotland and the Union will be up for debate, alongside the UK's future relationship with the EU in the aftermath of last year's Brexit result. Voters reacted to today's surprise election announcement.
I'm surprised, because Theresa May told us that it was too early for a Scottish independence referendum, and then she's calling an election early, so I think it's a bit, it kind of looks a bit stupid in the Tories a bit.
Yeah, I would vote, because it's better to use your vote, and then if you don't use your vote, you can't have a say in what happened in the outcome.
If you're a political geek, what a time to be alive. But if you despise politics, then good luck to you. Anas Hassan, UWS News.
We have Anas today with the studio with us. So Anas, tell us about the matter.
It's been an extraordinary day, Kirsty. The announcement was made at around 11:15 this morning. I remember getting an alert on my phone saying that there was going to be a surprise announcement, and to be honest, I wasn't sure what Theresa May was going to tell us, but then she told the nation that she was going to be going to the polls, or she was going to get Britain to go to the polls again on June the 8th. And as you said, Agatha, in 6 weeks' time, the UK is going to be electing a new Parliament in the House of Commons for 2017, just around 2 years after we had our last UK general election. And no doubt that Brexit will dominate proceedings as the election campaign goes on. And I would also say that we're in unprecedented territory just because of the mix of issues that are surrounding the current political atmosphere right now. So if you were to ask me what's going to happen in 6 weeks, I would predict Theresa May is probably going to win a bigger majority in the House of Commons on behalf of the Conservative Party, but it'll be interesting to see what happens, especially here in Scotland and across the rest of the UK. And it'll be interesting to see what happens to the Labour Party and see if the Liberal Democrats actually do very well out of the vote from last year with the 48% Remain vote. Will much of that go to the Lib Dems and Tim Farron's party?
So today was obviously a huge surprise, but why was it such a surprise? Isn't there elections all the time? What makes today so different?
Today was such a surprise because I think Theresa May was giving an indication over the last few months that she wasn't keen to go to the country in terms of actually seeking a new mandate because she triggered Article 50 in March. So focus, I think most people had assumed, was that the next 2 years would focus on the UK negotiating the best possible deal for the United Kingdom in terms of the relationship with the European Union. But it's interesting to try and, at this early stage, I suppose, the final reasons as to why she's decided to call an election, I mean, they haven't come to the fore, but let's be absolutely honest about this. I think we'll know with time why it really happened. I think, if anything, Theresa May's actually, calling the election at a good time because it's a chance for her to consolidate the lead for the Conservative Party in the polls and potentially win a much bigger majority and a much stronger mandate in terms of negotiating on the UK's behalf after the triggering of Article 50.
Good, thanks a lot, Anas.
Thank you very much.
Living with autism is a challenge faced by many people in the UK. Our reporter Margaret Gilmore was in Glasgow City Chambers earlier to meet children who have autism.
My name is Max. I have autism. This makes me different.
Max Conway is only 11 and doesn't see his autism as a barrier to getting on in life. I spoke with him and his mum Alison at Glasgow City Chambers as they attended an event for National Autism Awareness Month. Max is there to deliver a presentation.
Every child is different regardless of having a special need or not, and I think that's the important thing. It's about understanding that individual child and using their strengths and using their weaknesses to try and improve them.
Jim Taylor is an expert in autism and has been lecturing on it for over 20 years. He wants more professionals to challenge their limited perceptions of what young people with autism can accomplish.
I think this week is all about actually not just simply raising awareness about autism. It's about raising awareness of what can be achieved, what attainments young people can have if we challenge them correctly.
Warren is a teenager from Glasgow who challenges himself every day to achieve more despite a rocky start in life.
Well, I got found out when I was in 6th year I had autism, so when I left school. Today this means it's important as I'm going to speak to young people and other old people about autism.
A diagnosis gives you a start, but then what you have to do is you need to be able to sit down with the individual who has autism, whether you're a key worker, a support worker, whether you're an employer or in whatever capacity that you're working with someone with autism, you need to then sit down with them and you need to look at what their own needs are.
Autism is much more common in Scotland than many people think. There are more than 1 in 100 on the autistic spectrum in Glasgow, and young Max wants us to remember we are all Jock Thompson's wains. Margaret Gilmer, reporting for UWS News.
Here in the studio with us is Margaret Gilmer herself. So Margaret, how was meeting the kids?
Do you know, it was a great day. I met they were only 2 of the young people that I met, but there were a whole range of young people there, such impressive kids, what they were doing with their life. They were challenging all the barriers and all the misconceptions that you have around autism. And you saw young Max, I mean, he made that PowerPoint presentation and he's only 11. And then he went on to present it in front of City Council leaders, experts, and a large audience. I would have struggled with that now, never mind at 11.
So why should people care about Autism Awareness Month?
Well, Kirsty, it's a good question because when you think about autism, a lot of people have these ideas and notions around autism, and what the experts were telling me was that they want to dispel these myths. They want to challenge all these perceptions that people have about autism, to really test what young people can do, to push them on, because who knows, I mean, we don't really know yet what young people can achieve with autism, and really once they're challenged and their barriers are broken down and they're pushed to their limits, the world's their oyster.
Definitely. And what was the highlight of the day?
Highlight for me really was watching young Max and Warren. I mean, you saw Warren there. Warren didn't have a diagnosis until he had left school. To me, that was remarkable. And now he's going on and working with Glasgow City Council and their youth employment team, and he's going out on work placements, travelling around the city, and who knows where Warren will end up. He was an excellent speaker, very impressive. That was the highlight for me, meeting the young people, really.
Thank you very much, Margaret. Next, we have our very own Christy, talking about fat shaming and if it really works.
Fat shaming sweeps the streets this week, with everyone talking about the 2 viral videos. The viral videos have many people outraged, while others applaud their honesty. But what is the truth? Does fat shaming work, or should we be more body positive?
I think fat shaming people is never going to make people want to lose the weight. It's something they need to decide themselves. I work in a pub and I had thrown a guy out. Basically, it was past the drinking time and I'd asked him to leave, and he tried to take his drink out, so I grabbed it, and as he left he shouted, "You fat cow." I'm like, why is that even something that's like, for someone that I'm not massively overweight, but why is that something that's so quick to be an insult to throw at someone? Would be like as if being fat is the worst thing that someone could possibly be.
I hit the canteen at lunchtime to find out what the public thinks about this and if they really believe that fat shaming could work.
I would say no. I would be reluctant to subscribe to that, because I think it could have more of a negative impact than a positive impact. So perhaps if it was done a wee bit subtly, or they can do it subtly, but as you say it, no, I don't think that works. I would say no.
Recently, in a very similar sort of situation, I had to say to my son something about his weight, but I couldn't say it directly, so I said to him, I'm going on a diet before we go on holiday to New York later on, and it was really a big massive hint to him.
I think fat shaming could go 2 ways. I think that it could encourage people to lose weight, but I think it could depress them and lead them into like feeling really bad about themselves.
Could be like it could turn in like mentally like badly.
I spoke to an expert to find out if fat shaming really does help people lose weight and if we should be encouraging it.
My hesitation there says no. I think I would want to be a bit more subtle. People know themselves if they're overweight, if they're fat, and what they need to do about it. We're just here to give them that wee push, but that wee push would mean us being, as a customer, we would need to be courteous. But I don't think I would say to somebody, you're fat, get your, get a move on. It's very easy for somebody else to look for someone else, for that customer to look for someone else to fix their problem. Where really, you need to be able to identify your own issues first and foremost. We're there to help you and benefit you and support you. Other than that, get your finger out.
Thank you, Kirsty. That was lovely. We're going on a break now for a few minutes, but stay tuned to find out more about the raw diet and how it works. Welcome back. Many people around the UK start a new diet, and the latest trend for it is eating raw food. Here in studio with us, we have Carla Busquema, who researched about this new trend, and MMA fighter Susanna Martinkova. So Carla, you recently wrote about this, and you interviewed a counsellor specialised in weight issues. So what did she tell you?
So yeah, I did quite a lot of research on the matter before writing this article, and I found this counsellor, Lisa Murphy, who lives in Glasgow, and she has been on a raw diet since 2003. It was really interesting talking with her, and basically she told me that there are different types of raw diet, but mostly what people would describe this diet is like a dietary plan, basically, where you don't eat food that has been cooked or that has been cooked over 40 Celsius degrees. Yeah, it has been great for her so far, and there are a lot of interesting things about it, and a lot of people wonder how this can work, because some people believe that there are not enough proteins, but actually you can find quite a lot of protein in spinach or other green leaves vegetables. So it's quite good, yeah.
So after learning about that kind of diet, would you recommend it to others to go ahead and try?
Well, I was talking about it with Lisa because I haven't tried it on my own, this diet, but she has, till now, she had very incredible results. For example, she was able to cure a back chronic pain that she had.
Wow.
And she noticed also that her skin cleared, and a lot of people have also lost a lot of weight on this diet. So I guess it's quite good, and I would try it myself as well.
So, Susanna, you're a sportswoman, and I'm guessing that you follow a special diet for it.
Yeah, every time.
Tell us about your diet.
I'm an MMA fighter for 5 years already, and before every fight, of course, every fight requires a diet, so I need to follow special diet plans. I'm usually following low carbs diet, to which you eat more fats and proteins than carbs, and it means you have a caloric deficit. So, but I don't know if I would try the raw diet because it's different.
Well, I guess what the problem is that maybe you think there are not enough proteins into this diet.
Yeah, especially because when they have the cooked food, cooked food is not in raw. That's the difference, because I need to eat cooked food, especially meat and
So for someone who does sport, you would recommend to follow this?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this, yeah.
So you already said that you wouldn't try the diet, but so you would try the previous diet that we were talking about before?
No, probably not.
No. Okay, so thanks both for joining us, guys. That's all from us on air. I'm Kirsty Pierik.
And I'm Agatha Torri. Thanks for watching, and until the next time.